I think it's about time to check up on this Braggot. Hello everybody, this is Hudson with Sanders Home Brewing. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're checking up on our Baltic Porter Braggot that we started back on the 2nd of September. Today's the 13th of September, so if you're seeing this maybe on the 14th or the 15th or the 16th, we started this on the, we're checking up on this on the 13th of September. The 16th will be 2 weeks since we started this, but fermentation really kind of, it kind of ended at about like 1 week, a little bit over 1 week. And so I transferred all of this off of the lease because it looked like it was done. I stirred it up and I back sweetened it with some more honey, and it has been going just a little bit more, but it's fermenting very slowly. I checked the bitterness on this and it was very low, which is good, but I wanted to dry hop it because I felt like the dry hop would kind of balance it out just a little bit more. So today we're going to be transferring out of this because it really cleared out quite well, but there is a kind of like a very fine layer of sludge on the bottom of this. So I want to transfer off of that sludge so that we can have a very clean product to transfer into our bottles. So let's get started with that. The dry hop actually worked really well for the aroma because it was very dense with the maltiness on the smell, on the nose. But now that I've dried hopped this, now that I've dried hopped this, you do get that kind of citric note from the Cascade on there, so that's really nice. So let me get something. So we're gonna ladle this out as best we can. It's actually kind of difficult. Grab that out of there. It's a really nice smell. So remember I don't want to stir that up because I might stir up some of the sludge. For the boil, we started off with our hops, and then at the 30-minute mark, we added some rosemary, and at the very end, we added a bit of dill to this because I kind of wanted a bit of a zing of flavor at the end, and I'm really looking forward to trying this because I don't know if I made a mistake or not. I tasted this back when I transferred off of the lease, and it tasted okay because it was very young and it still had all those gases inside. So I don't want to judge it too badly. But now that it's had some time to kind of sit on its own and dry hop, I'll be really interested to try it out and see how it's gone. This is actually a really nice color. It is quite a bit clearer than my brown ale that I did about 3 weeks ago. So I'm wondering if the taste is going to be similar. I didn't use rosemary or dill for the beer, but I used the same recipe as the brown ale, but just kind of added 50% honey sugars for the fermentables, and I added the rosemary and the dill. So it's going to be different, but the kind of maltiness, the chocolatey malt is still going to be there. So in reality, I kind of see this as being more of a Baltic style brown, or like a Baltic style porter. So that's why I had been calling it Thors Braggot, because mead is Scandinavian, Well, when you think of mead, you think of Scandinavians, but the Egyptians were making mead as well as the Persians. But I'm going to be really interested to see how this turns out. And we're going to fast forward, and I'm going to come back when all of this is done. Okay, so now we have an empty container. It looks like I got a good majority out of there. This looks like maybe like 1 or 2% of this entire container that I got out. And now we have our nice clean Braggot sitting right here. can't wait to bottle this. And we're back. Everything is done except for the bottling. That is the next step. So we have all of our clean Braggot liquid ready to transfer. I have my bottling cane ready and all of my bottles. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different bottles of varying sizes. The only difference is that I think my last two are just very small bottles because I don't think I'll have enough for like a 75 milliliter bottle. So first I'm going to transfer into my growler here. Very kind of, I love these Rooster bottles. They are amazing, and it's got little honeycombs on them. So it fits with what I'm doing. So usually I wouldn't do this by myself, but I mean, I always do it by myself. I shouldn't, but I do. So I'm going to have to be very careful when I do this to get the suction started first. There we go, and transfer. We'll let that sit there, and we'll start our bottling process. So we'll see you when that's all done. And the bottling is done. So we got one 64-ounce growler right here. Well, this is probably, yeah, this is about a 64-ounce growler. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular 750 milliliter bottles. One small, kind of like 16-ounce bottle, and a half of like an 8-ounce, 9-ounce bottle. So this is probably going to have to be drunk like today. And I did get a little bit off in here, and if you can look at that color, it's nice and clear. You know, not like the brown ale, because the brown ale was really kind of like sludgy, but it was delicious. But this is really, really nice and clear. Kind of looks like, what does this look like to me? Oh my gosh, it looks like a port wine, like a port wine that's been hit by the sun a little too long. Give a little bit of a smell there. Very herbal because we did use rosemary and dill. And I'm going to actually put that down, and we're going to go over to the table so that we can have our tasting and talk a little bit more about this product. Okay, and so that does it for the bottling. So we racked, we bottled, and I affixed my custom labels to the bottles so that I know what they are, since I do have kind of like a backup of mead and beer and stuff like that. So what I want to talk about right now is kind of like where this Braggot is and kind of like what I wanted to do with it. So when fermentation ended, it ended up being about 11% alcohol by volume, which means that it dropped all the way down to, I think, from 1.12 to 1.01. So I added about a pound, or like maybe 75% of a pound of honey to the batch to sweeten it up to 1.02, or maybe just a little bit above that. So it does have a little bit of sweetness, which it's bitter, so I wanted to maintain that balance right there. So it did kind of ferment, like continue to ferment, but it was very, very slow. So I'm not concerned at all about these turning into bottle bombs at all. It's very little off-gassing. This is meant to be consumed still. That's how I want to do it. And if it does have a little bit of fermentation, I'm okay with that, because there'll be just the slightest hint of carbonation there, and I'm fine with it. Just as long as it's still to slightly carbonated, it's fine. I do have a bit of it right here, a little sample that I put into this cup, and I put in the fridge so it's chilled, which this is supposed to be chilled when consumed. So let's go in for the nose again. I did talk about it over there, but it's been, you know, a couple of minutes for me, a couple of seconds for you. So let's go in there. You don't get any sweetness on the nose. It's all herbal, rosemary, dill, citrus, which is really interesting for the color that this is going to be, and the flavors of the malt, which I use chocolate malt and pale malt for this with a little bit of amber. So let's go in and take a taste. Very different from a week ago. A week ago, there was still a little bit of lees kind of sitting around in the solution. So you got that kind of tangy yeast taste, which is kind of nasty. I was really concerned about it because I thought that putting the dill in might have ruined it. But this is actually really, really good. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. You get the honey character in there. It's like silky smooth. It's not like the brown ale that I made at all. You do get the chocolatey maltiness in there, but the silky smoothness of that honey character really kind of like makes everything meld together. It's really, really good. It's kind of like a honey barley wine, which I'm really like happy about. Let's go in for one more taste. The rosemary is not too much, but you do get it on there. It's like that herbal back note, and the dill comes right at the front of the palate and gives it a little bit of zing, which I'm very happy about. This is a success. I'm super happy about it. It's the very first Braggot I've ever made, and I think I might stick with this recipe for a long time. I might try out maybe like a lighter version of a Braggot, kind of like more like an IPA Braggot, but this Baltic Porter style Braggot mead is 100% A++. Really happy with this. Oh my gosh. Yeah, still is perfect. I could not imagine this having any carbonation, because I think the carbonation would just kill the sweetness. And the sweetness really gives this kind of like a very, I want to say like a royal quality. I could drink that all day. Really, really, I don't know, that it just kind of like frazzled my mind. Sorry about that. But that's about it for this video. I'll probably let this sit for about a week and do another tasting, maybe with Mimi if she wants to do it with me. But if you like this video, hit that subscribe button and also that like button. And if you know anybody who might be interested in learning how to brew, or is just interested in the process and wants to learn, send my video their way. And that's about it for me, guys. Thank you very much. See you later.